Knowing when to plant our crops can be one of the trickier things for a gardener to figure out. Some crops are easier to figure out than others, and seasonal variation always has the potential to ruin our plans, either with a late or early frost or with an abnormally warm or cool summer. Welcome back, casual gardeners. This is part 5 of the Gardening Fact series, in which we answer the question, when is the best time to plant blank? And at this point, it's time for me to give up the matching shirt gimmick that I started out the series with. Behold, the shirt I just felt like wearing for no particular reason. Now, by the end of this series, you should know which factors determine planting time, why following a calendar can lead to failure, how frost, soil temperature, and plant type work together, and how to figure out what all of this means in your climate. But before we get started, make sure you've hit the like button and subscribe to my channel so you don't forget later, because you probably will. I know I do it all the time. When we get our plants or seedlings or seeds in the ground can determine our gardening success for the rest of the year. If they're planted too early, our seeds can rot in the ground. Growth can slow or stall, or we can lose our entire crop to late frost. If, on the other hand, we plant too late, heat stress can damage the young plants. Our crops may not have time to mature, and this can result in reduced yields. Root development, disease resistance, and plant health can all be impacted by when we've planted our crops. Good timing won't fix everything, but bad timing can wreck everything. There are 3 factors that matter a lot more than a square on a calendar. First of all, frost dates. Our growing seasons are bracketed by a last frost in the spring and a first frost in the autumn. These are averages. The actual last and first frosts can vary by as much as a month, so be careful. If you're in North America, I've included in the description a couple of links that you can click on to enter your zip code and find out when your last and first or first and last frost dates are, and that can help you with your garden planning. Some plants can tolerate frost and can be planted on or even before the last frost date, but there are other plants that will collapse if you show them a picture of a snowman. Being familiar with the cold hardiness of our plants is an important factor in figuring out when to get them in the ground. 2, soil temperature. We're all used to watching air temperatures because those are all about when we're comfortable or when maybe we need to wear a sweater, unless we're in a greenhouse, because in a greenhouse, even January can feel pretty nice right now. But plants grow in soil, and the air temperature is of secondary concern for them. Different crops are going to need different soil temperatures to germinate, and sometimes the soil temperature can be quite a bit different from what we would expect based on the air temperature. Tomatoes are a really great example of a plant that requires warm soil to be okay. If you transplant your tomato plant out before the soil temperature has gotten up to 60 degrees Fahrenheit, which is about 16 degrees Celsius, your tomato plant may wither and die even though you're running around out there in a t-shirt. Lettuce is an example of a plant that needs cool temperature to thrive. Seeds won't germinate if the soil is too warm, and your lettuce plants may struggle once the soil temperature gets up above 75 degrees Fahrenheit, which is about 24 degrees Celsius. Third consideration is cold tolerance. Depending on who you ask, different gardeners will group plants into either 3 or 4 different tolerance types. I like to go with 4 because we've got some pretty severe seasons where I live. If seasons are more gentle where you live, you may be able to get away with 2 or 3. So my categories are cold hardy, semi-hardy, tender, and very tender. And these plant types play a really important role in when I decide to direct sow or transplant my plants for the year. Cold hardy plants can withstand spring frosts. These are the plants that we put in to get us through the hungry gap, which used to be an issue back in the days before refrigerators and global shipping were things. Some examples of cold hardy plants are most of the cold crops. So that's kale and cabbage, kohlrabi and turnips. It includes lettuce and spinach, arugula or rocket, onions and leeks are in there, and also peas. There are more. I'm just listing off a few. Garlic and broad beans are also cold hardy, but they're so cold hardy that in most places we're putting them in the ground in the fall. I plant my garlic in the fall. I have to plant my broad beans in the spring though, because it is too cold here over the winter for them to survive. So I treat broad beans here as a cold hardy crop. But if you're in zones 7B or higher, you might be able to get away with fall planting for your broad beans. So cold hardy plants can go in the ground as soon as the ground is workable. And in this case, workable means that it's not frozen anymore and it's also past the mud stage, because there's a point after the snow all melts and the ground thaws out where it could be mud. If it's mud, it's still too soon. Just about all of the cold hardy plants transplant out pretty well. So it's your choice whether you want to direct sow your seeds or transplant out seedlings. I've found that I'm generally happier in my climate with transplanting out seedlings that I've started in February in my greenhouse. Now, semi-hardy plants can withstand some mild frosts, but they're not as badass as the cold hardy crops, so they require a little bit more care. So some examples of semi-hardy plants would be beets, Swiss chard, carrots, parsnips, potatoes. Semi-hardy plants, depending on your climate, tend to be something you can transplant or direct sow 2 to 4 weeks before your last frost date, your average last frost date. A lot of them need cold soil to germinate and will languish if you transplant them out too late in the season. Tender plants can withstand a little bit of cooler soil, but frost will take them right out. Some examples of those are bush and pole beans, celery, and corn. Tender plants go in on your average last frost date, but you're going to want to keep an eye on the actual weather. And if it looks like there is going to be a late spring or there's a cold front moving in, it's okay to delay your tender plants. Very tender plants are the tropical plants we like to eat. They need warm air and warm soil to thrive. They're going to be the last ones in and the first ones to go when the first frost comes. These are your winter and summer squash, all of your gourds, most of your melons, eggplants, tomatoes, and peppers. Very tender plants should not, absolutely should not go into the ground until there's no chance of frost. And that's typically at least 4 weeks after your average last frost date. Because most of these crops also have a very long growing season, because in the tropics, it's growing season all the time. These are mostly the plants that we choose to start indoors and transplant out as seedlings, or sometimes some really quite mature plants, depending on how short our growing season is. The only way to be absolutely certain it's a good idea to transplant out your very tender plants is to get yourself a soil thermometer and jam it in the soil and make sure you're reading above 60 degrees Fahrenheit, which you recall is approximately 16 degrees Celsius. Here in Logan, Utah, those typically don't go out until after Memorial Day. But I usually start my pepper plants indoors in the house, not the greenhouse, because I don't have a heater in here, around the first week of February. And I'm usually starting my tomatoes mid-March. I started my tomatoes in February alongside my peppers last year, and I felt that that was a little bit too early. They got very gangly before I was able to stake them up and put them in the ground. Trees, shrubs, and perennials are usually planted as starts from a nursery rather than being direct sown. The best time to plant your perennials is in spring or fall. These are less stressful times for your seedlings to get themselves established and build up a root base and get to a point where they can either survive the cold of winter or the hot of summer. Both of those can be stressful. A lot of perennials have seeds that require something called stratification, a cold season of exposure to temperatures below, like, depending on the plant, 30 to 50 degrees Fahrenheit. That's a range I'm not going to convert to Celsius. You do that homework for me. So if you are direct sowing perennials, the best time to do that is in the fall, and that is going to ensure that you get some natural stratification instead of having to take up valuable fridge real estate. Living things are complicated, and our gardens are alive. So there actually isn't a super simple answer to the question that is this video topic. But if you're still watching, you should have all the tools you need now to figure out when to plant blank. I experienced a lot of failure adjusting to my new climate when I moved here from Salt Lake City, Utah. So it's all right to not get everything right the first time. Keep trying. We're not just growing gardens, we're growing gardeners, and it's a whole process. Make sure you like this video if you found it useful or entertaining or both. And again, make sure you are subscribed to my channel so you do not miss the next exciting episode of Gardening Facts. Thank you so much for joining me here in my garden today. I hope you have a wonderful time in your own.